When she smiled, when she hugged me at Christmas, when she called me Mom with that sweet voice, I never thought those same lips would one day say, "Pills dissolve fast in hot tea, and heart attacks are so common at your age." I'm sitting in my kitchen now, alive, free, watching the morning sun paint gold across my countertops. But 3 weeks ago, I didn't think I'd see another sunrise. My name is Dorothy Webb. I'm 72 years old, and my daughter-in-law tried to kill me. Let me start from the beginning. My son, Michael, married Vanessa 8 years ago. I liked her at first. She was charming, attentive, always asking about my health, my finances, my insurance policies. I thought she cared. Michael died 2 years ago. Heart attack. He was only 49. After the funeral, Vanessa stayed close. Too close. She'd visit twice a week, always with homemade soup or casseroles, always insisting I eat while it was hot, always watching me with those dark eyes until I finished every bite. "You're so thin, Mom," she'd say. Mom. She still called me Mom, even though Michael was gone. "You need to keep your strength up." I appreciated it. I was lonely. My daughter lives in Seattle, 3,000 miles away. My friends from book club were dying off one by one. Vanessa's visits became the highlight of my week. Then the stomach problems started. Nausea, dizziness, fatigue. My doctor ran tests. Everything came back normal. "Probably stress," Dr. Palmer said. "Grief can manifest physically, but it only happened after Vanessa's visits. After I ate her food. I'm not stupid. I'm old, not senile. I started paying attention. One Tuesday in October, Vanessa arrived with her usual Tupperware container. Chicken noodle soup this time. "Made it fresh this morning," she said, setting it on my counter. "Let me heat it up for you." "Actually, I just ate." I lied. "I'll have it for dinner." Her smile tightened. "It's best fresh, Mom. Come on, just a cup." "I'm really full, sweetheart." "Thank you, though." She didn't leave for another hour, kept suggesting I try just a little, kept moving that container closer to me on the counter. When she finally left, I waited until her car disappeared down the street. Then I poured that soup into a mason jar, labeled it with the date, and put it in the back of my freezer. I started documenting everything, every visit, every meal she brought, every symptom I felt afterward. I bought a small notebook and kept it hidden in my bedroom. I wrote down times, dates, what she said, what I ate, how I felt. November 15th, Vanessa called. "Mom, I found the most wonderful assisted living facility. I really think you should take a tour." "I'm fine here, Vanessa." "But you're alone. What if you fall? What if you have another dizzy spell?" "I have my medical alert bracelet." "That's not enough. Please, just look at it." "For me? For Michael?" Using my dead son's name. That's when I knew something was very wrong. I told my daughter Sarah during our weekly phone call. "Mom, maybe she's right," Sarah said. "Maybe it would be safer. I don't want to leave my home." "Then at least get a caregiver. Someone to check on you daily." I hired Mrs. Patterson, a lovely Jamaican woman who came Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. Vanessa was furious. "You don't need a stranger in your house," she said. "I can help you. Mrs. Patterson is wonderful. And you have your own life, dear." Her jaw clenched. "I'm family." After that, her visits changed. She'd arrive when Mrs. Patterson wasn't there. Evenings, weekends, always with food, always pushy about me eating it. I saved every single meal, labeled, dated, frozen. December 3rd was the breaking point. Vanessa showed up at 8 p.m., unannounced. I was in my bathrobe, reading. "I brought your favorite," she said, holding up a container. "Beef stew." "It's late, Vanessa. You need to eat better. You're wasting away." "I'm tired." "Can we do this another time?" She walked past me into the kitchen, started heating the stew without asking. The smell filled my house, rich and savory. "Sit," she ordered. I sat. Something in her voice made my skin prickle. She placed the bowl in front of me, pulled up a chair directly across, and watched. "Eat." I picked up my spoon. My hand trembled slightly. "What's wrong?" she asked. "Nothing. Just tired." "Then eat. You'll feel better." I lifted a spoonful to my lips. Stopped. "You're not eating," Vanessa said. "My stomach's upset." "You haven't eaten anything." "How can your stomach be upset?" We stared at each other across my kitchen table. The stew steamed between us. The clock ticked on the wall. "Why do you always watch me eat?" I asked. Her eyes narrowed. "I want to make sure you're taking care of yourself." "Why do you only visit when Mrs. Patterson isn't here? Are you accusing me of something, Dorothy?" She'd never called me by my first name before. Always, Mom. "I'm just asking questions," I said quietly. She stood up abruptly. "I spend hours cooking for you, driving here, taking care of you, and this is the thanks I get? Suspicion?" I didn't say. "You know what? Forget it. Enjoy your stew. Or don't. I don't care anymore." She grabbed her purse and left, slamming the door so hard my windows rattled. I sat there for 10 minutes, staring at that bowl. Then I poured it into a jar, labeled it, froze it. I didn't hear from Vanessa for a week. Then she called. "Mom, I'm sorry." Her voice was honey again. "I was stressed about work. I shouldn't have snapped." "It's okay, dear. I want to make it up to you. Let me take you to lunch tomorrow. That Italian place you love." Every instinct screamed no, but I said, "That would be nice. Perfect. I'll pick you up at noon." I called Sarah immediately after. "Something's wrong," I told her. "I can't explain it, but something is very wrong with Vanessa." "Mom, you sound paranoid." "I'm not paranoid. I'm careful. There's a difference." "What are you saying? You think she's trying to hurt you?" "I think she wants me gone." Silence on the line. Then, "Mom, that's a serious accusation." "I know. That's why I haven't made it to anyone but you." "But Sarah, if something happens to me, nothing's going to happen to you." "If something happens, look in my freezer. Mason jars labeled with dates, and there's a notebook in my nightstand. Read it. You're scaring me." "Good. Be scared. Be watchful. I love you." "I love you too, Mom." The next morning, I did something I'd never done before. I activated the voice recorder app on my phone, the one Sarah had installed for me to record recipes when I watched cooking shows. I put my phone in my cardigan pocket, recording on, and waited for Vanessa. She arrived exactly at noon, smiling, wearing a red dress I'd never seen before. "You look beautiful," I said. "Thank you, Mom." "Ready to go?" We drove to Angelina's, my favorite restaurant. Vanessa was chatty, relaxed, asking about Mrs. Patterson, about my book club, about Sarah. Normal. Everything seemed normal. We ordered. Chicken piccata for me, salmon for her. She suggested we share a bottle of wine. "I don't usually drink at lunch," I said. "It's a special occasion. We're reconnecting." The wine came. She poured 2 glasses, pushed one toward me. I sipped. It was good, crisp and cold. We talked about Michael, about memories, about the garden I was planning for spring. She was the Vanessa I remembered from years ago, warm and engaged. Our food arrived. I cut into my chicken, took a bite. Delicious. "Aren't you going to eat?" I asked. Her salmon sat untouched. "In a minute." "I'm enjoying watching you enjoy your food." There it was again. That watchfulness. I ate slowly, making conversation, trying to seem natural, but my heart was pounding. Halfway through my meal, my phone rang in my pocket. I'd set an alarm, pretending it was a call. "Excuse me, I should check this," I said. It was a reminder I'd set. Ask questions. I put my phone on the table, face down, still recording. "Vanessa, can I ask you something?" "Of course, Mom." "Why did you really want to have lunch today?" She smiled. "I told you. To apologize. Is that all? What else would there be?" "I don't know. You tell me." Her smile froze. "What's this about, Dorothy? I'm 72 years old. I have my health, my house, my savings. I'm not a burden on anyone. So why do you keep pushing me toward assisted living?" "I'm not pushing. I'm suggesting. Why do you always bring me food?" Because I care about you. Why do you watch me eat it like you're waiting for something? She set down her fork. Her expression went flat. You're being ridiculous. Am I? Because I've been documenting every visit, Vanessa. Every meal. Every symptom afterward. Her face paled. I've saved samples of every dish you've brought me. They're in my freezer, labeled and dated, ready to be tested if needed. Tested for what? Her voice was sharp now. Whatever you've been putting in them. She laughed, but it sounded wrong. You think I'm poisoning you? That's insane. Is it? You want me in assisted living. You want me out of my house. And when I'm gone, who inherits? Michael's widow, that's who. His next of kin. You're paranoid. No. I'm careful, and I'm done pretending I don't see what's happening. She leaned across the table, her voice low and dangerous. You can't prove anything, can't I? I have samples. I have documentation. I have a recording of this entire conversation. I held up my phone. Her eyes went wide with rage. You bitch, she hissed. There it is, I said calmly. The real Vanessa. She grabbed her purse, stood up so fast her chair fell backward. You'll regret this, she said. Is that a threat? Should I add it to my recording? She stormed out of the restaurant. Every patron turned to stare. I sat there, trembling, my phone clutched in my hand. Then I called the police. Officer Martinez arrived 20 minutes later. I showed him everything. The notebook, the frozen meals, the recording of our lunch conversation. Ma'am, he said gently, these are serious allegations. I know. Can you test the food? We can. But I have to ask, is it possible you're misinterpreting her intentions? Sometimes grief can make us suspicious of people trying to help. Officer, I taught chemistry for 35 years before I retired. I know the difference between grief and poisoning symptoms. I know what arsenic does, what antifreeze does, what excessive amounts of common medications do, and I know that my symptoms only occur after eating her food. Test it, please. He looked at my face, saw something there that convinced him. We'll test it, he said. They took 12 jars from my freezer. They took my notebook. They took my phone to copy the recording. Do you have somewhere safe to stay? Officer Martinez asked. I'll be fine here. Ma'am, if you're right about this, you're not safe. I have Mrs. Patterson during the day, and I've changed my locks. Vanessa doesn't have a key. That night, I barely slept. Every sound made me jump. I kept my phone next to my bed, 911 pre-dialed, ready to hit call. 3 days later, Officer Martinez came back. His face was grim. Mrs. Webb, you were right. My hand flew to my mouth. We found elevated levels of antifreeze in 4 samples, prescription sleep medication in 3 others, and arsenic, likely from rat poison, in 2 of the most recent ones. I started crying. Not from sadness, from relief. I wasn't crazy. I wasn't paranoid. We're arresting Vanessa Harper this afternoon. We'll need your full statement. Of course, anything you need. Can I ask? How did you know? I'm a mother, I said, and mothers know when something's wrong with their children, even the ones who marry their sons. They arrested Vanessa at her home. She denied everything, said I was a delusional old woman, said she'd been nothing but kind to me, but the evidence didn't lie. During the investigation, they discovered more. Vanessa had taken out a $200,000 life insurance policy on me 18 months ago, listing herself as beneficiary. She'd forged my signature, using her power of attorney for healthcare, to claim I'd approved it. She'd also been slowly emptying my savings account, small amounts at a time, using information she'd gotten from Michael years ago. My son, my sweet Michael, had trusted her completely. He'd given her access to everything, and she'd waited. Waited for him to die, then set her sights on me. The trial lasted 3 weeks. Vanessa's lawyer tried to paint me as confused, vindictive, a grieving mother taking out her pain on an innocent woman, but the evidence was overwhelming. The poisoned food, The forged insurance policy, the stolen money, the recording of her calling me a bitch, threatening me. The jury took 4 hours to convict. Attempted murder, elder abuse, fraud, forgery, 25 years to life. I was in the courtroom when they read the verdict. Vanessa turned to look at me, her face twisted with hate. I looked right back at her. You should have known better, I said quietly. I taught chemistry for 35 years. I graded papers that tried to cheat me for 3 decades. Did you really think I wouldn't notice? They led her away. Sarah flew in from Seattle the next day. She hugged me for 5 minutes straight in my kitchen. Mom, I'm so sorry I didn't believe you at first. It's okay, honey. It sounded crazy. No, you knew. You trusted your instincts. You saved your own life. I documented everything. That's what saved me. Sarah looked at the mason jars still lined up on my counter, the ones police had returned after testing. Document, 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 she said. Exactly. Now it's March. Spring is here. My garden is blooming with tulips and daffodils. Mrs. Patterson still comes Monday through Friday, but now she's more friend than caregiver. We have tea, talk about our grandchildren, watch game shows. Sarah calls every day instead of once a week. She's planning to move back east, wants to be closer. I'm thinking of starting a blog for seniors, about staying safe, recognizing elder abuse, trusting your instincts, about how the people closest to you can sometimes be the most dangerous, about how being old doesn't mean being helpless. This morning, I made myself breakfast. Just scrambled eggs and toast, nothing fancy. But I made it myself, in my own kitchen, in my own home, and I ate every bite without fear. That's a freedom I'll never take for granted again. If you're reading this, if you're worried about someone you love or worried about yourself, listen to that worry. Don't dismiss it as paranoia. Don't let anyone tell you you're being ridiculous. Trust your gut. Document everything. Save evidence. Tell someone you trust what's happening. And remember, being careful isn't the same as being crazy. Sometimes being careful is what keeps you alive. I wake with the sun now, feed the birds on my back porch, read the newspaper. The tulips are beautiful this year, red and yellow like flames. The insurance policy has been voided. The stolen money is being recovered. The will I wrote years ago, leaving everything to Sarah, stands unchanged. Vanessa sits in a cell, and I sit in my kitchen, drinking coffee from my favorite mug. Some mornings, I think about her, about how convincing she was, about how close she came, about that bowl of beef stew sitting on my table, steaming, waiting. If I'd eaten it that night, would I have woken up the next morning? Would anyone have questioned it when a 72-year-old woman died of a heart attack in her sleep? Would they have tested for poison or just signed a death certificate and moved on? I'll never know. What I do know is this: I'm alive, I'm free, I'm safe, and I'm not going anywhere. Not for a long, long time.